Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Today is day 8 of the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, and with it brings Origin Jumpworks and their ships. And as usual, we're here to tell you what ships are actually worth your time. If you find what we're doing in this series in any way useful, hit that like button down below. And for future content, be sure to subscribe. Origin Jumpworks is the maker of all the luxury ships in the verse. And when we say luxury, we mean it. If there's a vessel you can think of which has a luxury setting, then these guys are the ones that make it. And boy, do they make it look good. Here's Hall 1 today, and this is how we'll tackle the first set of ships.
Perfect!
First up, we have the Origin 135C. Now this is a cargo variant of a ship you've probably already experienced, because if you didn't know, everybody was gifted a free 100i at the start of the Expo. The three of these ships all share the same interior, with a bed that's meant to fold up, an internal cargo area, a pilot seat, and internal and external component access. Overall, thanks to how new it is, the 100 series is probably the best series of starter ships available in the game. But they're just not really what you're here for during the IAE Expo. Sure, they're cool to check them out, and if you do have to check out one of them, it should be the 135C, but other than that, they're not really worth your time. So for the 135 in particular, we're going to give it the okay. Second, we have the 125A, which is the light fighter variant of the 100 series. In short, it's just basically got a different paint scheme and better pew-pews. Not really worth your time, I'm afraid. In the centre of the show floor today, we have the absolute juggernaut and the premier ship in Origin's lineup, which is the 890 Jump. As usual, here's a bit of advice and help just to get inside of it. First of all, head underneath the ship itself and walk to the back and find these glowing circles on the floor. These are indicator lights showing you where the elevator access is. The first one's for the cargo lift and the second one's the main elevator, which will take you up inside the ship. Just take note of the fact that you don't actually look up to where the light should be, instead just look into the cloud of light. We're using the interaction method. Now, I'm not going to bother giving you a full tour of this ship because that could take quite a while. This ship is one of the largest in the game, with something like 68 or 69 separate rooms inside of it. Each one fantastically detailed and exactly what you expect from the ship maker. If you can think of anything luxury in your head, then the 890 Jump probably has a good chance of having it. As well as the cargo lift, which is roomy enough to fit quite a number of vehicles, it also has the largest in-ship vehicle hangar, meaning a spaceship can come with you too. Designed to ferry the richest of the rich or the most VIP of VIPs, this ship has everything you can actually ever think of when you think VIP. From saunas, swimming pools, master bedrooms, guest bedrooms, hot tubs, crew quarters, the list goes on and on. In short, what I'm saying is this ship is truly a work of art and one of the best in the game, or at least by a margin one of the best to look at. Alongside this is the third and final ship of the IAE, which has a med bay, meaning that if you die you can just spawn straight back in this beauty. What I'm saying is, go and check this one out. This ship is hot. Today we're going to head downstairs first to the 100i. Now, as I said earlier, everybody was given one of these on their account already, so if you haven't already flown it around New Babbage, then now really isn't the time either. Not worth your time, I'm afraid. Down the hall from that we have the Origin M50. Now, if you haven't guessed from the looks already, this ship is a racer, and a very good one at that. This thing is insanely fast and nimble. So fast, small and nimble in fact, it makes one of the later ships a bit irrelevant. If you have yet to check out a racing ship, or just want a little bit more of what they can offer, then I heavily suggest you check out the M50. This ship is hot. Upstairs and over in Hall 2 we have most of the 300 series of ships. They're Origins, upgrades or slightly more premium versions of starter ships, again with a number of variants, 4 in total. And this is the order we'll tackle them in.
Perfect!
First up we have the 325A. Now, alongside the 100 series, the 25A marks the fighter variant of Origin's premier lineup of ships. So in short, it has beefed up weaponry and a smaller cargo hold underneath. It should be noted that for all the Origin ships they share the same interior with the exception of one we'll get to later. This includes a bed, a fridge, a worktop space with a sink, with strangely no cooking utensils or appliances, a toilet, and of course the pilot seat. It's going to be my recommendation that if you're going to check out the series, then this is one of the ships you should check out, as you can utilise it as intended. This one gets the okay. Second in this room we have the 315P. Described as a high performance light explorer, this ship has an expanded cargo bay. So if you were interested in picking up a slightly more premium starting ship, then this is the one for you. Again, no internal changes other than the colour, but overall this ship is nothing but just okay. Finally in this room we have the 350R. This is the racing variant of the ship. Now, thanks to its smaller and quite frankly just better cousin, the 350R is kind of irrelevant right now, even with its better paint scheme. It also even suffers from the internal side of things, where it just has a bed, no kitchen or anything in here, which I suppose does make sense for a racer at least. Even worse when you realise there's no other dedicated racer of this size to compare it to, so all you have is the smaller, more nimble and I believe faster M50s and MISC Razors. This ship isn't worth your time. In the third and final haul of today we have these ships, which we'll tackle in this order.
Perfect.
So first we have the last in the 300 series, the 300i, which also happens to be the base model of this series. It's described as a solo tourer. Now, what that really means is it's the middleman of all the other ships. It doesn't do anything quite as well, but does all of them okay. Now, as a result, this kind of puts it in a area. It's quite noticeable in Star Citizen that for ships of this size or just solo piloting ships, it's better if they stick to a profession and perfect it rather than try to do everything. And this ship isn't worth your time. Next up is the 85X. Now this ship is very peculiar. With a co-pilot and pilot, it's a two-person runabout ship. It's literally designed for getting people from A to B in a stylish fashion. It's not really designed as a snob fighter ship. I imagine it will mainly be used for ferrying people from one ship to the other, such as getting the super rich VIPs into the 890 jump. As a result, I can't really recommend this ship. The sizable ship at the back of the haul is the 600i. In particular, this is the touring model. In my opinion, strangely omitted is the 600i Explorer variant of this ship, which is much more useful in my opinion. Instead of what this ship has inside, it has a cargo lift which goes up to a cargo room which has a sizable amount, as well as being able to hold multiple different types of vehicles in it. I believe there's an ongoing bug where certain vehicles just refuse to go up on it and explode as a result, which is why it's been omitted. That's just speculation however, but either way it's still strange that it isn't here and we have this arguably less popular version of the ship available. As the touring name may suggest, this ship is just basically a smaller version of the 890 jump, in that it's just a fancy space yacht designed for getting VIPs from A to B, but over a much shorter distance than the 890 jump. Now, whilst it has everything you'd expect from a fancy ferry, such as a bar area, pool tables to lounge about in, plenty and plenty of seating, there's guest bedrooms, and what's quite possibly the most stunning master bedroom I've ever seen, not just in the fictional video game spaceship, but just ever. The 600i, particularly in the touring variant, has come under heavy criticism for having just a lot of space. It's not necessarily a bad thing if you want to chuck down some picos or something, but you'll notice there's just a bit of void space everywhere. It feels luxury but empty, which is the reverse problem with the master bedroom, because that's just perfect. Overall, the ship is still an absolute spectacle, and if you're looking for something to show your friends in Star Citizen, between this and the 890 jump, you can't go wrong. This truly successfully showcases the scale and fidelity of the game, whilst giving it a half decent exploration ship to boot. Well, okay, if it was the Explorer variant. This ship still comes recommended as hot, and heavily recommended that you check it out. Of course, don't forget to check out the holo views today as well. They feature the fancy ground vehicles they'll be putting into the game soon, but not the fancy hover ground vehicles. And that's it for this Star Citizen focused video. We're a fairly new channel, so if you enjoyed what you saw today, please be sure to drop a like down below, comment with your thoughts, negative and positive, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more in the future, keep on doppying, and we'll see you in the next one.